how to sell online courses in multiple languages. We at Multipreneur.com are currently selling in 5 different languages: Finnish, English, Polish, Swedish and Dutch. Hello, my name is Joel Hakala. I'm a Finnish online entrepreneur, and in this video I'm gonna tell you the 5 most important things you need to do or consider when you are thinking about selling your online courses in multiple languages in multiple marketplaces. Why did we choose to start selling in multiple languages? Well, first of all, I made my first videos online in 2016 and I was solopreneur and just me on the videos. I don't remember exactly when I started the first time thinking about making the content in other languages, but it was already at least 4 years ago. The first time we sold courses in English, because we started from Finland in Finnish language, was I think late 24. But the basic thing is that in Finland we have only 5.5 million people. So the marketplace is really small. So example, we are currently a year roughly 2 million euros worth of online courses in Finland. And we were at this place where we knew that, okay, we cannot scale this movement mobility online courses much bigger than this. And then we had a phase when we sold, example, weight loss courses, some relationship courses, and we were expanding to other health and wellness topics. So we were like, okay, we can tackle this complex thing of cracking ourselves to multiple other niches in Finland. But with that, we can maybe grow maximum 10x from where we are right now. But if we go to multiple other languages and marketplaces with the movement and mobility niche, we could have a 100x bigger market and audience. And also we were more curious with my business partner about the global business selling in multiple languages than just expanding in Finland. It was something we knew that we can totally do it. There wasn't that big challenge and that unknown. But with selling in multiple languages and taking over the world, so to speak, that sounded something we were like, it might not work, and it sounded much more interesting challenge. So we chose to focus on that. We stopped selling the weight loss courses, the relationship courses in Finland, and now we are focusing only on movement and mobility courses. The second really important thing is now AI. I think more and more online course business owners are starting to think about like, oh, why couldn't I just, translate with AI this content to other languages and sell? And yeah, AI really helps. It makes the translation process much faster. But at least right now, I don't think the AI content is good enough that you can just use AI to build that content in other languages. Because example, when everyone is trying to do that AI thing, there will be a lot of competition in the AI generated content. But if you are going the way of doing the human created content, that's actually differentiation in the marketplace. So example, we have chosen to focus on that because the AI technology is not at that place yet to do really good content where people cannot really notice if it's AI or not. Example, on our product videos, we do it in a voiceover style where the visuals of the video we have filmed in our studio in Finland. And then in different languages, we just make a different voiceover. Now we tried with AI voiceover, but many customers asked like, is this AI? Why this sounds so robotic? People noticed and they didn't like. So now we are in the process of making human voiceovers. And on top of that, yeah, we are getting saturated with the AI generated content, and I really believe that it will be an edge in creating the brand, differentiating yourself if you have the human created content. Then next thing is about the personal brand. Most of the content creators, the sales, your branding is dependent on your face, on who you are. And now when you are going to different languages, that won't really work unless you yourself can speak other languages. So example for me, from 2016 to the spring 2022, I had been the only face on the videos. Then I had a physiotherapist who started to help me with the content creation. So now our audience got used to the other face also, and not just me. We had like the transition period where our audience got used to the new face. Also, how we think about sales and marketing, we are not building it on top of the story of like, example, my story or of one person's knowledge. Example, movement world. The whole name already is talking about the world, and we are building a brand where it's about we having multiple physiotherapists or movement mobility professionals and from different countries. But if you are currently personal brand and your business is dependent on that, you need to start to to plan for how to work in a way that it's not dependent upon you, that is starting to speak more and sell more, less from the specific like, hey, I'm the person behind the message example, and widening the scope and kind of like starting to learn to sell and market differently instead of it always being from you, the author, the core founder figure, but more broader base or doing the marketing in a way that if you have, example, in other country, someone working for you, that they can put their name under the message, and if their face is on the video, it will still work with the other face. Then we have the huge next piece. Starting to sell in different languages sounds really simple. I mean, you localize some content, you buy other domain, you set up a new website or platform, and then you start selling, like you're just doing exactly what you're doing right now in a new website in different language. Well, kinda, but it's actually so much more complex. Now, first of all, to find someone who can perform on videos, create the good content, you need to find the right person. And if you want to expand to multiple languages, you need to do it multiple times. You have to onboard, then you have contract things. Then even though like it might be about setting exactly the same kind of website and systems you currently have, you will end up going from one website to 5 or more websites. You have now multiple systems, you have multiple numbers to track sales, ad spend, which adds complexity. It takes more admin work. There's more room for error. There's much more room for you not having time or mental space to keep everything up to date with everything. Then how to run the customer support when there starts to be customer support inquiries in different languages. Maybe you're selling in different currencies, then different payment methods. Example, in Europe, the thing is that in many countries, the biggest payment methods, the most commonly used payment methods are not Visa and MasterCard. So how do you solve that? You might have you could sell in one country, but you might not be able to do it really efficiently if people cannot pay with the payment method they want to use. For example, we have built our own custom checkout system. We are now integrating and building an international version of it, so we can integrate, example, Swedish Swiss payment method and Polish Blik payment method and Dutch Ideal payment method, what are really commonly used there. And we have noticed from our experience that the payment methods really damn matter. Example, I think in Poland, 2/3 of the people online pay with the Blik payment method, and currently we cannot offer that. Being able to offer that on your checkout affects the conversion and increases your sale hugely. So that's also one challenge that you might not think about, but it might really affect your ability to go international. Another thing is there's unexpected troubles. For example, we were about to set up a Serbian website, and then we found out that we cannot buy a Serbian domain. If you want to buy a .fi or .se domain, we just go online and buy it. But for Serbia, it doesn't exist. So there's all these kind of smaller or bigger problems you encounter that you had no way of anticipating. And that's a good rule of thumb with everything. We don't know what we don't know, and if you're starting to do something you haven't done before, it will be more complex and challenging than you would have expected, because you don't know what you don't know. So, last point, but maybe the most important, because this will get you actually going on and getting started with selling in multiple languages. Quickest, dirtiest test you can do. Example, if you are non-English entrepreneur or founder or author and you speak English or some other language, create a channel, start creating content in that language. Because one thing is that I have noticed is when you start speaking in different language, on making videos, there might be a little bit learning curve to learn to talk your topic and your niche stuff in that other language fluently. Or if it's something you want to go to other language but you cannot speak it or not well enough, or you want to do it by having a local person do it, find someone who could make version of that in different language, who could also then localize some of your ads that has worked best, or creating some video ads, and then put €100, $100 on paid ads and run €100 or dollars on that free lead magnet. Just try hey, can I get people to subscribe to my free lead magnet and to my email list? How much will it cost per email lead? What do I learn from that? And just thinking about okay, from this point where I am right now, what's the easiest, fastest and cheapest way to get started, do real action, starting to get some data and learning. And also other things like if you start to like think about, oh, I will localize this my business and my website to this other language. I need to do these things. I'm gonna hire employee or a person from this other language. Now that's so complex big thing that it will take you months anyway to prepare everything, find the person. Then you're putting so much money, everything takes a long time. And then finally, when a year later, you're ready to publish the websites, you have put so much of your time, effort, energy from your team, from yourself. 1 year has passed, and then you launch a thing, and then you learn something that some problems, complexities, why it doesn't work. Instead, you could start by doing some smaller things like already this month, then doing more the next month, more after that. And 1 year from now, you will end up being in a place where you have probably made more progress because you're not thinking so much, but you're actually moving forward. You are avoiding some mistakes because you quickly learn, and at the same time, you will also test the person who comes to work for you and localize your content if you start by small test projects. Just get started to get data, real feedback, because if I would have started to do, or we would have started to do that more, I think we would be at least 1 year further in our journey of going to different languages and new marketplaces. And in hindsight, it was only like, we would have just needed to start a small test projects really quickly just to get some feedback, and that's it. The question is, let's go to 1 year from now. You have expanded your business to 1 new language, 1 new marketplace. It has worked out. How will it change things for you? Mentally, emotionally, financially? That should be the answer you need when you're thinking like, should I go to new language? Should I test this out? Because for me, it was really exciting idea, and that's why I was like, okay, I need to do this. And if that is exciting answer for you, get started now.